August 17th, 2019. We're in the building. I am Blaze Jays, also known as John Amberger. I'm here with my man Jordansky.
What's up? You know it's me, Jordan.
Yes. So, we got a couple things to talk about. There was some fights today, but nothing really big or anything. And the Saturday show is only a 30-minute show. We're going to try to get through the whole 30 minutes today. But just a couple topics, a couple things to discuss. The first thing, before we get into anything else, I want to talk about an article I read in the LA Times. And when is it from? It was from like 2 days ago, like on Friday or Thursday, one of them days. And it said, and the name of it is, what was it? Hold on. Canelo, or said boxing is dead, and the sport has only its internal politics to blame. How often have we heard this? How many times have we heard that, oh, boxing's dead, boxing's dying? Rah. A local DJ around here, Chad Dukes, has said, I heard him say that he's heard boxing was dying his whole life, And so anyway, could boxing be better? Absolutely. Has it seen better days? Absolutely. But dying, come on, dog. We've heard this. I feel like I've heard this tale too many times in my life. I don't know how you feel about that. But anyway, some of the key points made in the article were that that some guys were speaking. They were hyping up the September 28th fight between excuse me. Hyping up the fight between Sean Porter and Errol Spence and Sean Porter, and they were saying that on like some of the guys who were speaking, like nobody was there, and basically the writer had said 3 years ago that boxing was dead, and he says now nothing between has changed my mind, but the sport did move in the right direction. So he's giving some credit. He's talking about Canelo Alvarez, becoming who he has in the two Golovkin fights, and he's talking about how the heavyweight division has improved. But essentially, he criticized Canelo Alvarez because of, the stuff that he's going through, and we talked about it a couple shows ago that, he might not fight, or I think he might not fight, and it seems like he's ducking Demetrius Andrade, and then he talked about how Tyson Fury, and we're going to talk about him, talking about how Tyson Fury is pulling his bullshit, the fighting Schwarz and Otto Wallen, which I think is on Tyson Fury. You know what I'm saying? Like him taking that Top Rank deal. Nobody told him to sign with Top Rank. Nobody put a gun to his head and said he had to do that. And so because he did that, and because it's on ESPN Plus, the issues with fighting Wilder. Oh, and then finally he basically said that about the Joshua Ruiz too being in Saudi Arabia, and how baloney that was when that has not been confirmed. Like this guy, like the points he's making, it's I don't know, it's stupid. I mean, what do you think about that article, or what do you think about what I was telling you about that guy in the LA Times?
He sounds a little just out there. He just sounds like he's just giving his own opinions on things and then try to put them off as facts. That's what it sounds like, for real, to be honest. Because it's really not confirmed that they're going to be fighting Saudi Arabia, because we just heard recently that Andy Ruiz just said that he wants it to be in America. So we don't have a concrete location for this fight, but so I don't know where this guy gets his information from. Maybe he has some inside sources to all this stuff that maybe we don't know about. But for as of like right now, from what I've heard, like all the stuff that he was talking about that he was saying was concrete, that is not concrete, and that's coming from the fighters and the promoters, especially Eddie Hearns. Like Eddie Hearns is saying it's going to be in Saudi Arabia. And Ruiz is saying it's not, and that's the whole thing. Like I don't understand it. It's like
they said they're going to get contract lawyers involved in that
yeah,
joint.
It
shows the fight's probably not, or it's looking like it might not happen.
It looks like it might not going to happen too.
But where I just wanted to ask you, Jordan, because the guy basically said boxing is dead, and even though it's kind of moving in the right direction, it's still dead or dying. How do you feel about that? Like, do you think that's a true thing, or what are your thoughts on boxing either dying or being dead?
I think boxing is not dead. I don't think it's dying. I think boxing is just it just went very stale. It didn't have enough stars, and then it got stars. You know, you had Oscar De La Hoya coming up. You had Shane Mosley. You had Manny Pacquiao.
Mayweather.
You had especially Floyd. Yeah,
Zab Judah,
Floyd,
Roy
Zab
Jones.
Judah, Roy Jones. You know, you had Antonio Tarver coming up. You had Felix Trinidad. Like you had guys like that, like coming up in like the '90s, and not to mention like Mike Tyson, the heavyweights going on. Mike
Yeah,
Tyson,
in the '90s, the heavyweight division was great.
Lennox Lewis, you know, Shannon,
All the guys,
all
Shannon
them guys,
Briggs,
Shannon Briggs,
last heavyweight.
yeah, the last American heavyweight champion. So
Like the official.
official, yeah, WBO, the last heavyweight champion in America for America. Like that's crazy. So I think it's just the lack of star power. And I think that when you got for an industry like that, for a sport like that, to not have the star power, I think that's why it went stale. And I think that's why people might see it as dying. But I don't think it's dying now. I think it's getting back to where it is because the heavyweight division is ramping up and people are getting like interested in boxing again. People are like trying to see what's going to happen next. Day. Hey, you gotta thank Andy Ruiz for doing what he did, like going out there and sticking to his game plan and not being intimidated and not being intimidated and going out there and boxing and winning the fight because he created a shockwave through the world of boxing and people are tuned into seeing what's going to happen next and seeing how long he can keep that belt. But I don't think boxing's dying. I don't think boxing's dead. I think boxing is alive, and I think boxing is coming back strong right now. I think it's about to ramp up here. We got some good fights about to take place soon, so boxing is coming back.
Yeah, I agree. I agree completely. And honestly, I don't think it will ever go anywhere. I mean, remember Joe Rogan in 2007 was debating Lou DiBella on ESPN, and he basically insinuated that there will be no more stars in boxing after 2005. That your sport is being swallowed. But you know that all he was saying all this and that, and he's changed his tune. Lou DiBella's changed his tune. You know, because he was calling UFC human cockfighting and all that other bullshit. But the thing is like there still have been stars after 2005. And if we say boxing's dying, we look at from the state of in the United. We look at it at the perspective of someone living in the United States. Whereas boxing is still the biggest combat sport around the world globally, and so anyway, I don't know. I think a lot of people get that misconstrued. I think the fan base will always have a fan base just because of all the history and everything like that, and so.
And it has its hardcore fans. Like their hardcore fans ain't never gonna let the sport die. Like they have a lot of hardcore fans.
Yeah.
Boxing is a well loved sport worldwide. Like people love boxing.
Mm-hmm.
I think, like I said, I think it just went stale. Boxing went through. It was going through the same thing the WWE is going through with wrestling. It's just the lack of star power. So they claim they don't have the star power. So that's what it is. I think they don't have the star power, and people need those household names. Mike Tyson was a household name.
Oscar De La Hoya.
Oscar De La Hoya was a household name. Floyd Mayweather is a household name. Manny Pacquiao is a household name. Felix Trinidad is a household name. People know Antonio Tarver. Antonio Tarver was on was on Balboa.
Yeah,
right?
correct.
Yes, and he was on Balboa. Antonio Tarver is a well-known name.
After he beat Roy Jones too.
And Roy Jones is a well-known name.
Bernard
Bernard Hopkins, well-known names. These people are like that. They were household names. So the lack of household names and the lack of that star power is the reason why it's stale. But it's never going to die. Cause like I said, them hardcore fans ain't never going to let the sport die. Like I can't see boxing dying. Like look how boxing is getting love on TV now with FS1. Fox is getting involved with it. They showing fights on Fox. We got Top Rank with ESPN. You know, this stuff is it's not that bad. PBC with Fox, yeah, PBC with Fox. Showtime, you know, I know HBO doesn't show the fights anymore, but Showtime still has the fights. Boxing's coming back. It's coming back.
And I mentioned, and we got to move on to some of the other topics, but I mentioned like how like my granddad, him and his brothers used to really like boxing back in the day. You know, they used to follow the eight divisions. They knew all the champions and everything like that. And they used to follow a lot of baseball too, but they really like boxing. And the thing is like where my grandfather tuned out was pay per view. He didn't mind watching it when it was on ABC or when it was on CBS or NBC, but when it went to pay per view. My granddad didn't know any of the heavyweights in the 90s, you know. He probably heard of De La Hoya and all them, but he never watched them fight or anything. He just read about it in the paper. And so, anyway, I think they've done a good job kind of moving away from the pay-per-view model a little bit. I mean, it's still there and it's still present, but just, you know, kind of with the streaming and everything like that, I think things have definitely changed. So, anyway, just an interesting perspective, just an interesting article. So, the next thing is I want to talk about the super middleweights, and I've mentioned before that I think Caleb Plant will move up to light heavy, but David Benavidez, and I'm not sure if that's going to be his next fight because Plant just fought Mike Lee a couple weeks ago, and Benavidez was in a fight not too long ago either, but Benavidez said I want to break his face. Woo, man, I love the trash talk, man. Man, that would be crazy. Benavidez is good though. David Benavidez. He was the dude who I watched on. I think it was the dude I watched on Friday Night Fights, wasn't it? Wasn't it? I think it was him, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, that was Gilberto Ramirez. But David Benavidez, his brother, fought whatchamacallit, fought the welterweight dude, Bud Crawford and stuff. His I guess it was his older brother, whatever. So yeah, Benavidez says he wants to break Caleb Plant's face. So. How you feel about that? You ready? You want to see it happen?
No, it's going to be an interesting fight. Caleb Plant's ain't no joke.
Yeah, they're both undefeated.
And yeah, David Benavidez is a good boxer as well, but Caleb Plant can box. Like, it's going to be a good matchup. This shit's going to be tight.
Should be solid. Should be solid.
You know, it's going to be electrifying. It's going to be. I don't think it's going to go.
To the whole 12.
I think it's going to go more than 5 rounds.
Because they're gonna be throwing punches, man. I don't know. It might go like 8 or 9. It might not make it to the championship rounds.
I think it's gonna be a nasty fight, and if it is gonna make it to those to like 9 rounds, it's gonna be a nasty fight.
Yeah, it should be good. I'm pulling up David Benavidez' record because he beat somebody not too long ago. I knew that Caleb Plant beat Mike Lee. Oh, he beat what was it, Jay Leon Love back in March. So, but yeah, he's undefeated though. What's his record? 21-0 with 18 knockouts. So yeah, Benavidez is good, and I know Caleb Plant's undefeated. So should be a good fight. Should definitely be interesting. Switching gears a little bit, going to the heavyweights. Not Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, who's been making the rounds on media. I saw him on First Take. I saw him on Max on Boxing. He said that he'll fight Deontay Wilder in February 2020 if they both win their next bouts. Jordan, yeah, I saw you putting the thumbs down, man. Let the good folks at home know why you put the thumbs down.
Because he's a scrub. He's fighting scrubs, and then he's going around with this lineal champion crap. You got ESPN freaking promoting it, and it's like it's ridiculous. The lineal championship.
Oh, they say that every other day.
Every other day, and I'm getting tired of it. So that's why I put my thumb down. I'm done with it. I'm seriously done with it. Like, I'm done with it. Fight somebody else. Why couldn't you fight? And I understand he can't fight a lot of people because he's with Top Rank. So
they want him to kind of take a couple. Or they don't want him to lose early in the deal. But you said Tyson Fury's a scrub. Is he a scrub, or you just don't like him the way he goes about his business? I guess.
Let me not call. He's not a scrub. Let me not call him a scrub. He fights scrubs, so that makes him a jabroni. Like, he's a jabroni. Like
The Rock.
Yeah, he's a jabroni. Why are you fighting these scrubs? And I'm getting tired of ESPN. Like, the people I'm getting tired of people like boosting them up, like saying, "Oh, these guys they're undefeated. They're coming in, they're up and comers." Right then and there, you already know what's about to happen when you say up and comer. He's sending that boy in there to get slaughtered. Look at the last fight. A slaughter. Like Tyson Fury's about to slaughter this kid. Like, and it's not even it's not gonna be funny. I hope the dude win though. I hope he wins. I'd love to see. I hope Otto Wallen wins. I hope he wins. But I already know he's not gonna win. I don't got that. Like the same way he beat last guy Schwartz. I think it's gonna be a quick one. But that's kind of like, it's like, come on, man, you're going around calling yourself a lineal champion. You're going around doing this and that. I understand the reason why they're promoting yourself as a lineal champion, because to sell fights. But the lineal championship, it was done when Lennox Lewis retired. So I don't understand.
Nobody's ever gotten it back.
Yeah, and Klitschko, Vladimir Klitschko didn't get it because he didn't fight.
He wasn't
his brother,
the unified champion.
and he wasn't a unified champion. So I don't understand how are you the lineal champion? That's another question I would love to ask you. Like, how are you the lineal champion? With knowing all that information, how are you the lineal champion?
Because he would say that Klitschko was the lineal champion.
Oh my God, that's just ridiculous. But if he loses, I hope he loses, and I would love for Otto Wallen
to become the lineal champion.
I would love that to happen. I'm getting tired of that lineal champion crap. I'm getting tired of it, man.
On Max Unboxing, I was watching the interview, and Tyson Fury said that going forward, he wants to take more risk, and even though the goal is to win, that he wants to win a certain way. And he said the next fight with Wilder will be a slugfest. I don't remember his exact words, but he insinuated that the next fight with Wilder will definitely be a slugfest. Oh man, I was watching that with my brother, and my brother, he likes Tyson Fury, man. He was hyping him. He was saying, shout out to Josh, Big Josh in the building. Oh, he's not in the building, but anyway, shout out to my man. But yeah, he was saying that he thinks Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight, and I was like, what? And like, I don't think he's better than Wilder, and so anyway, so he's number 2 in my opinion. But like Fury was saying that he wants to take more risks though, and I was like, bro, that's not going to be a good thing versus Wilder, because you take those risks and slip up versus Wilder, Wilder's going to knock your ass out. And so, yeah,
you cannot do that versus Wilder. Don't take no wild risk.
Right,
because once you start
his power,
because once you start swinging them joints with him, you gonna end up like Stavern. Like Stavern was trying to swing with him, and what happened? He felt 2 of them joints, and he just was like, "Oh no!" And then that Wilder sensed blood in the water, and he attacked, and it was game over. So you can't do that. Just fight your game. Just fight your game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm with you. I think that would be a bad thing to change the strategy. But Wilder has to get through Ortiz, though. So I think he can do it, but it's definitely going to be tough. Or if it's not Ortiz, hopefully it's Ruiz. If the Joshua thing can fall through, and then Wilder could potentially be the unified heavyweight champion. And then so he's like, I got the unified. I'm going for the lineal,
You know what's crazy? That's what should happen if that happens. If Ruiz fights Wilder, then Joshua should fight Fury. That shit would be so tight.
I don't think he should do that though. I think he should take a tune-up fight.
I think that joint would be tight.
He should take a tune-up joint. He
should
fight
take a tune-up fight.
I don't know. Maybe Joseph. Not Joseph Parker again, but somebody, maybe some bum or something. Some lower ranked guy, and I think that would be interesting. But speaking of Anthony Joshua, we're going to finish the show talking about him. He called Lennox Lewis, who we've given praise on the show. He called Lennox Lewis a clown, and me and Jordan were talking about this beforehand. And I was kind of ready to bash Anthony Joshua, but Jordan made a good point, and I'll let you have the floor. What were you saying that you kind of saw from Joshua's perspective?
See, I kind of see it from Joshua's perspective, because Joshua was looking at it from the standpoint like this. Ever since Lennox has retired, he's been real critical of the heavyweight division. Rightfully so. His is a rightfully so. I'm sorry, I don't know why I was thinking. I got stuck. I apologize. Rightfully so. Lennox is coming off as saying like what Lennox is saying about the heavyweight division is not wrong. Like yes, the heavyweights like this division was at a standstill at one point in time, but right now the division is booming. The division is actually it looks good right now. Like you got some good competition going on right now. The top half looks great. The bottom half looks good too. You got some good up and comers. But he's been critical of Joshua as well, and Joshua sees it as like, damn man, you know, I used to I like how we look up to you, but at the same time, it's like this is our era. Like this is my era. And I saw the interview, and that's what he said too. He said, "This is our era. Like this is my era. Like why am I worried about anything about him? But he's a clown. Like I understand what Joshua is saying. I understand where Joshua's coming from, but I don't like Joshua's tone. If you understand what I mean, I don't like the way Joshua approached it. I don't like the way how Joshua said it. Called him a clown. I don't think calling him a clown was the right way he should have said it. I think that he should have said it differently. He should have worded it different. Because Lennox Lewis isn't a clown. You should show respect to where respect is given. Like Lennox Lewis, it might be arguably one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. Like you gotta give respect to that. Like just give respect to him. I understand you're upset because of something that he said about you, or something you feel that he said about your era, but don't call him a clown. But I understand where he's coming from. I understand both sides. I understand both sides. I understand where both sides are coming from. I just feel as though Joshua should have said it a different way.
See, I'm kind of with you, whereas like I think that Joshua calling him a clown makes him look like he's big mad. You know, it makes him look like he's really upset. Like really,
it does make it seem like he's emotional. Like that's some like, and I don't want to be like colorist or colorism or whatever. Fuck it. But it's not some light skin shit, like some Drake shit. Like, why are you getting upset about that? Like, what? Why would you care about what this other man's saying about you? Okay, maybe, and you know what? Maybe, and I also thought about like maybe it hurt me because maybe he looked up to Lennox, and it's like, damn man.
Now I'm actually in it, and
now I'm actually in it. It's like
me.
now, and this is what he has to say about me. Like that's fucked up. So he's a clown. But don't worry about that shit. You're Anthony Joshua. Okay, you lost to Anthony Ruiz. You got humbled. Next time, prepare yourself and don't come in there like slacking off. Come in there prepared. Come in there focused. Don't. You can't do that. You can't get emotional. You can't do that. You gotta put the emotion aside. That's what you gotta do.
Yeah, nah, 100. And what I was saying is I could kind of see it from Joshua's perspective, though. Because, yeah, man, if you, like, one of the top guys, and, I mean, you got feelings, you got, you know, everybody has emotions. Like, everybody, you know, it's not always easy to kind of tuck that stuff away. And so, yeah, I mean, he probably pissed at something Lennox Lewis said or something Lennox Lewis has, you know, insinuated. And so it's like when they asked him in the interview, that's probably the first thing that came to his mind was, yeah, man, Lennox Lewis is a clown. Like, but I think he's tripping, though. Like, I just don't think, like Jordan was saying, it's not a good look, man. Don't call Lennox Lewis a clown, man. Like, because you're not going to fight Lennox Lewis. Like, it's not like it's going to happen in the ring or anything like that, so it's not like you're trying to sell a fight. Don't do that, man. Like, just, like I said, it kind of makes him look a little weak. Like, kind of makes him look like, come on, bro. Like, don't, what you mad? Like, man, if I was in Joshua's shoes, I probably still wouldn't be doing any interviews. Like, you know what? I'm focused. Like, I'm focused on this fight, and I would be taking like a tune-up match, like fighting like a scrub, like somebody did. maybe not even like Otto Waller, maybe someone like him or like a Schwartz or some guy who was lower down there that you could kind of work with and kind of get better a little bit. You know, that's the approach I would take. I wouldn't fight Ruiz again, but anyway, we'll see what happens. Should be interesting and everything like that. So, did you have anything more you wanted to add on that?
No, I don't know. I hope he just focus. I hope he just refocus himself and gets back. Man, I don't know. Just refocus yourself, man. You gotta humble yourself. That calling him a clown, I didn't like that. That was, cause that's not like, cause I see Anthony Joshua as somebody as being humble. Every time you see an interview, this guy, he's so composed. He's pleasant. He's polite, and you know, it's crazy. Like you can look at his posture, his demeanor. When she asked him the question, his demeanor, his posture, everything changed. He just called that man a clown. Like, dude, that's Lennox Lewis. You call Lennox Lewis a clown? Come on, son.
Yeah, bro. It's like
I can understand you was calling like they said actually about Tyson Fury. You call Tyson Fury a clown,
right? Because you might could fight him. Yeah, like you're a current fighter, but you don't call that a legend, like
for real, son.
Especially someone as with as much clout per se or as much esteem as Lennox Lewis has. That's just not a good look. It's not. So, anyway, that was the show. Like I said, today is August 17th, 2019. I'm Blaze Jays. You can follow me on Instagram or you can friend me on Facebook, John Amberger. And with my man Jordansky in the building.
Yeah, I'm John. You already know it's Jordan. You can follow me on Instagram, J the Grade A. And yeah, that's about it. Don't forget, to like, share, subscribe, and just come on, man. Click that share button too.
Yeah, definitely. Did you have anything you want to throw in about wrestling or anything like that? Anything?
Nothing. Not
going
this
on?
week. No updates this week. Just be on the lookout. AEW did sell out the Capital One Arena in DC October 2nd, which is a Wednesday. At TNT, I believe they're airing at 8 p.m. live. Just be on the lookout. It's going to be a wonderful day. Also, NXT is going to be airing live on FS1 that week as well too. They're going to be competing. So it's not the Monday Night Wars. It's going to be the Wednesday Night Wars. See what's going to happen. Two good promotions. NXT is WWE, but NXT is kind of like their own thing. And there has been rumors and reports that Bruce Pritchard and I believe Vince McMahon are going to both get involved with NXT in some way. I hope they don't. I hope they stay out of it because Triple H is the guy, and he's been running it well, man. NXT is like is a well-oiled machine. That product is tight. And I think that would be tight to go up against AEW. See if they can do it. AEW has a nice roster. They just said that's not, and they just came out and said Cody Rhodes just came out and said, matter of fact, that that's only like 40% of their roster. That's not all their roster. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen here in the next couple of weeks.
Is anything going on Raw tomorrow? Anything worth talking about?
Nah, not really.
Okay. All right. Well, that's the show. J&J Boxing. Yeah.